Joining us now is Keith Phillips, President and CEO of Piedmont Lithium. Nice to see you, Keith.
Great to be here, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about this partnership you have with Sayona Mining in Quebec, a friendly jurisdiction, obviously. You are planning to restart the North American lithium mine, the old one, and that's going to be in 23. So what are the advantages of operating in Quebec?
There are many. So it's a mining friendly jurisdiction. It's a prolific mining jurisdiction. So Quebec has great mineral resources, including spodumene, the lithium bearing mineral. And there's a very supportive government there, and there's just a long history of mining in Quebec. What we like about the North American Lithium project in particular, and our Sayona partnership, and Sayona is doing a great job quarterbacking things, is it's a very large mineral resource. It's very well located just outside of Val-d'Or, so it's not in the hinterlands in the north, and it's very advanced. It's by far the most advanced lithium project in North America. It's been a past producer, so we think we can have it in production by the middle of next year, which is really good, probably a couple years ahead of any other lithium project in North America, so that's great.
Right, that's exciting for you. And so how does that that partnership fit into your global portfolio and also your ambitions to be a leading supplier of lithium chemicals?
So it's important. So our view is if you want to be a leading supplier of lithium chemicals, it's important to own the raw material and have the security supply of that material and ideally own the economics of it. So the Sayona investment's really important from our perspective. It'll be the first production. It'll be a lot of production. Our current plan is to build lithium chemical plants in Tennessee starting in 2023, be producing in 2025, and then in North Carolina a year later. We're very interested in building lithium hydroxide conversion capacity in Quebec as well. And so that's something we're working on. We're working with Sayona on a pre-feasibility study for the lithium carbonate plant at NAL, but we'll be evaluating other options as well. We'll have news on that in the coming months.
Now, Keith, would you say there's a nascent lithium supply sector building up in North America? And what's production look like? What's the status there?
So it's a really interesting question. So the supply chain is building aggressively. In the last 18 months, there have been massive commitments of capital by the car companies and battery companies to build gigafactories. A couple dozen, total capital commitment over $60 billion, all on the drawing board but committed capital from the big car companies, the big battery companies. That's the good news. The bad news is there's very little production in North America. There are 2 lithium hydroxide plants in North Carolina. They're the only 2 in the entire continent. They produce around 15,000 to 20,000 tons today. We'll need over 600,000 tons by the second half of the decade. We aim to help fill that gap. Others are working hard on it as well, Quebec, Ontario, in the U.S., but it's going to be difficult to keep up with the demand.
Now, helping you fill that gap is your investment in Ghana.
Yep.
So how does that investment help you eventually lead to greater production in North America?
So yeah, we intend to produce spodumene concentrate in Ghana with our partner Atlantic Lithium, and we have a wonderful asset called Ewoyaa. It's the best located lithium project in Africa. It's a mile from the Atlantic Ocean, 70 miles by national highway to a big port, and we intend to bring our share of that material into Tennessee to be the primary feed for the Tennessee lithium hydroxide plant. Again, there's only one big spodumene belt in the United States. We're on that belt. We have a big project, but that's not enough material for the market's needs, so we're going to bring that material in from Ghana.
So from a policy standpoint, we now have this Inflation Reduction Act. So what is the U.S. government doing to support a build out of battery metals supply, and how does Piedmont benefit from that?
Directly and indirectly in many ways. The government's become very, very supportive and very active in a good way. I think some of the policy decisions that have been made have been really strong. So, for example, in the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, there was money allocated to commit capital to help develop projects. We received a grant for $141.7 million 3 weeks ago from the Department of Energy to build our Tennessee lithium project. That's $141 million. That's a grant. That's the government taking that action. Within the Inflation Reduction Act, there are provisions that affect us, one's indirect with respect to EV tax credits. So if you want to buy an electric vehicle in the U.S. to get the full $7,500 tax credit, you need to have domestic minerals in that vehicle. And domestic in this case is defined as American or a free trade country like Canada or Australia or Argentina. So obviously we qualify for that. There's also production credits in the IRA, which are potentially very valuable. It's really 10% of our operating costs. There are definitions of that, the fine print's being worked on now, but that could be very, very beneficial to our project economics. And financing big lithium projects isn't easy. It's a young industry. It is a nascent industry. There's not a lot of history of lenders lending successfully to this business because it's not like copper or nickel. It's sort of brand new. So I think having the government be involved has been really helpful.
So you've touched on some of the reasons already, Keith, but lastly here, how is Piedmont different from some of the competitors out there?
I think we're American, so we're an American corporation. We're incorporated, we're headquartered in North Carolina. We have good scale. We have assets in Quebec, Ghana, North Carolina, and Tennessee. We're going to be a lithium hydroxide producer. Hydroxide is important in longer range vehicles. So if you have a big truck and you want to drive long distances, you need lithium hydroxide. We're going to produce it all from spodumene concentrate, which we think is the easiest way to scale production. And we're going to do it pretty fast. We should have production in Quebec in the first half of next year, and then Ghana the year after, Tennessee the year after, and Carolina. So we're very happy about our portfolio and the cadence of construction and production.
Right, lots to look forward to.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
Okay, Keith Phillips, the president and CEO of Piedmont Lithium.